Justin Trudeau made hundreds of thousands of law-abiding Canadian gun owners criminals overnight, while at the same time the federal and provincial governments all across the country are letting inmates out of jails and prisons. It's just another reason we have to keep those liberal hands off our guns. Earlier this week, Justin Trudeau made 1,500 different models of popular rifles and shotguns illegal. And he did it through an order in council, skirting any debate about the efficacy of his ban in combating violent crime occurring in Canadian cities. Now, the order in council does something else, too. It also helps Justin Trudeau avoid accountability for his continued scapegoating of Canada's legal firearms community for the crimes committed by those who use illegal, mainly trafficked firearms from the United States to do their dirty deeds. You see, in Justin Trudeau's Canada, the law-abiding are punished and the criminals, well, they are set free and coddled. And there's no greater example of this than the current gun ban that's happening at the exact same time as prisons and jails being emptied to save hardened criminals from the coronavirus. Just look at this from Global News. Canada is releasing immigration detainees at unprecedented rates amid COVID-19 fears. So to be clear, these people are already illegally inside our country. Many are awaiting deportation, and almost all of them have been deemed unlikely to appear for an immigration proceeding. Of the 353 immigration detainees held in provincial jails and processing centers, over 200 have been released simply because of the coronavirus. Let's stay with Global News for a second. Here's another example. Derek Snow, 53, is serving a sentence near Kingston for breaking and entering and theft, and he's been released because of his pre-existing conditions of diabetes, pulmonary disease, and malignant sarcoma. They've made him susceptible to the coronavirus. Now, here's one from Vancouver Island. BC jails have released nearly 100 inmates ahead of their scheduled release as provincial correction systems try to prevent an outbreak of the coronavirus. And let's go to a province that I thought voted Conservative, but this hardly sounds Conservative. COVID-19 trims Ontario's inmate population by 24%. It's been reduced by 24% during the last 2 weeks to combat the spread of COVID-19. They've released a total of 2,005 inmates. Oh, but I am not done yet. Staying in Ontario, from the Toronto Sun, a Hamilton man who murdered his family in 1976 gets COVID-19 medical leave. Joe Rollo slaughtered his wife and 2 children in 1976. Now, thanks to COVID-19, the Hamilton triple killer has been granted medical leave from a Sudbury halfway house. According to media reports, the Parole Board of Canada decided last week that for the next 90 days, the 77-year-old killer can live full-time in a home he shares with his girlfriend. He had been splitting his week between a halfway house and his girlfriend's apartment. But now I guess it's the apartment full-time. You see, after carrying on an affair with a co-worker in 1976, Rollo decided the best way out is to kill his wife Sandra, their 6-year-old son Jason, and their 5-year-old daughter Stephanie. He now walks free because this government doesn't take crime seriously, letting child killers free because of the Wuhan flu, yet the Liberals are creating new classes of crimes to convict the law-abiding of. I mean, there are a lot of other ways to deal with guys like this pistol-packing pimp and human trafficker named Dion Couvely that don't involve cracking down on duck hunters and target shooters. You see, little Dion was already under a firearms ban when he pled guilty in March to charges including 2 counts of human trafficking, procuring to provide sexual services, possession of a rifle, 2 breaches of a gun ban, and, for good measure, trafficking cocaine. This pimp just scored a conditional sentence and bail on May 2nd for his second bunch of gun charges. It's the day after the Liberals effectively banned duck hunting in Canada. If the Liberals have their way, the only people possessing guns in this country will be gangsters like Dion and his human trafficking teenage girl exploiting friends. That's why we've got to fight back. Please go to handsoffOurguns.org rebelnews.com to sign my friend Cian Bexty's petition. For Rebel News, I'm Sheila Gunn Reid. Violent criminals, gangsters, and human traffickers are going to be the only people in Trudeau's Canada who have guns, and that makes everybody far less safe. Canada's firearms community should not be paying for the crimes of Toronto gangsters. To sign our petition telling the Liberals to leave us alone, go to handsofourguns.com.